Okay, so we're now going to look at E, the most challenging one. So we're finding the integral between -3 and -1 of half of f of x plus 3. Don't need my parenthesis there. With respect to x, so dx. The first thing I'm going to do is take out the half. As we've done many times, it's just that multiple. We can multiply the result by a half. It's not going to affect the integration. So then it's f of x plus 3 dx. Okay, if we look at the function f of x plus 3, that is really just a transformation of the original function f of x. Specifically, that transformation is a translation of 3 to the left, f of x plus 3. It's affecting the x direction, or addition, we're moving 3 to the left. So it's just a translation of what we had. And so if I was to look at a function and it's just been moved 3 to the left, then the actual shape of the graph hasn't changed. So let's just say I had a graph that looked something like this. Try to do something simple. Okay, so it's in the negative zone. Let me try that again. So if I had a function that looks something, I want to go between -3 and -1. So let's just say I had a real simple function. I'm integrating between -3 and -1. So that would be this section here. Okay. Then if I was to move that back to the original function, then really I'm just translating 3 to the right. So if I move everything 3 to the right, I'm going to have something that looks like this. And the area that I'm trying to, the function would look like this. Let's just look at the boundaries now. Considering that I've moved the function 3 to the right, as it would be the original function, the shape hasn't changed, but originally we were asked to integrate between -3 and 1. Therefore, on the original function, if I'm moving 3 to the right, then that boundary of -1 here, if I move 3 to the right, that's going to become, that is a -1, so that's going to become a 2, and -3, 3 to the right, is going to become a 0. So I'm being asked to integrate this. So to review, we had this function here, f of x plus 3, with the boundaries from -3 up until -1. This is simply a translation of the original function, f of x, because it's a movement 3 to the left. And so if I've moved my function back to where it was, f of x, 3 places, then I just need to look at those new boundaries. The whole thing's moved, so therefore the boundaries have moved to 2, and they've moved to 0. So integrating this value here, -1, so the integral of from the boundaries -3 to -1 of f of x plus 3 is really the same as finding the integral between 0 and 2 of the original function, because it's simply just a translation. The boundary size hasn't changed, we're just moving that function. And the good news is we already know, or we're told in the original question, what the integration between 0 and 2 of f of x is over here. We know that that is equal to 4. So given that we know this result, so that's going to be half times 4, which is equal to 2, that is exactly the same as the integration that's being asked to be done here, because all we've done is we've translated there by 3.